Welcome back to Dolor Factor Live. Very interesting, exciting show today, and we're getting ready to give away some of the gifts that we've explained or told you about tonight. But of course, we've been talking about Suave and Sexy and Shabby, and I have to say again, the performance by Emile was just, for me, really sexy, something really tender. And we now have Al back on set, and want to find out what because I've spoken to Al about certain things and men's behavior before, and he didn't think that poetry was sexy or suave. It's certainly not shabby.
Oh, I think it shows that there's talent. But sexy or suave, I don't really know. I don't know how to interpret that. I mean,
so if it was a woman reciting the poem, would you say it was sexy?
Even then, I guess because of the appreciation I have for poetry and the way I interpret it, because I try to understand exactly what is being said, and really there's no real way to interpret anybody's poem, because you just don't know what the person felt when they were writing it. Because of my interpretation, because of the way it appeals to me, I don't see that sexy. Perhaps someone who has a more superficial appreciation for poetry may be able to get that from it. So I found it very deep, to be quite honest. And it goes back to what he said earlier, that Saint Lucia is replete with talent. And there's evidence of it tonight.
Yeah. Okay, I know that you want to ask a question, raise it on styles and so on, but there was something I said before the break that I want to follow through, because I think it's important. Why is it that women don't seem to understand when a man says something, this is what he really means? You know, if a man says to you, well, I've gone to see a friend, and the woman expects, well, he says he's going to see Jack. If a man says he's going to see Jack, it doesn't mean he may just go and see Jack. He might go and see Peter, Paul, whatever, before he gets to Jack. A woman wants to know Peter, Paul before he gets to Jack. Why wouldn't a man just say, I'm going, and this is an example, I'm not saying I'm going to go to Peter, Paul before I get to Jack?
Because men just aren't that organized. Not even in their thinking. I mean,
very well said.
And we have to appreciate those differences. A man leaves his home, and believe me, a lot of times he has no real destination. Very rarely does a man
leaves his home.
Very rarely does a man.
Sorry, viewers, I forgot to say, if you'd like to call and ask any questions or make any comments, then feel free to do so. Okay, you can give us a call and tell us what's on your mind.
If you look at a woman's bag, it says a lot about how organized women are. If she has to make 5 stops and she needs 5 things, they're all organized, and there's very easy access to those 5 things. Men aren't that organized. A man leaves home, and a lot of times I leave home and I set out to get to one location, and I probably never make it there because I'm passing the road, I see John, and I just stop on the road. I'm talking, John, I haven't seen you in a long time, and we're talking, and the time passes. We just don't work that way. And that's what needs to be understood. A lot of times too as well, you're asking a question and you've already formulated your own answers.
Precisely.
So
they say you mean women?
You as in the women.
Okay.
Some women.
So I'm not taking it personally.
Because you know what answer you want. You see, and so those are the things that we have to appreciate, those differences in the sexes. We're just not made the same way.
I know this is a big question, but generally, what would you say that men dislike the most about women?
Oh,
the controlling aspect. Because I think sometimes that question, it's almost like a rhetorical question. Where are you going? Oh, I know where you're going. You're not going where you.
So they ask the question and they answer it.
Yeah,
in other words.
So I think men sometimes find it a little bit tiresome. But and I think Al's been totally right about the fact that men are just very not. I mean, I think women need to understand that the fundamental difference is that we're really not as organized as we'd like to think. We are good posture. We can posture well, but that posturing should not be mistaken for the fact that we are very equipped in terms of, in some kind of chronological sense, that we know exactly what we're doing. We're very random men. We're very random, and I think that, and I think it's part of, it's just part of who we are. We like to wander off. We also like to form packs, which is why young men are always shipped off to the army, because at a certain age they love groups, they love the herd, they love the camaraderie, and so I think we respond. That's such an innate part of our species. I think that we enjoy that, and I think women don't understand that. Why are you always with guys? Why are you always forming a pack? Why are you always stopping here? I think it's that whole camaraderie that men also enjoy.
I think what bothers me the most about women is that they're confused as hell. They confuse the hell out of me, because I just know that women oftentimes just don't know what they really want. I'll give you a classic example. A woman meets you in a club. That's where you met. but once you're together, the club has to stop. That's where you met me. Why should I stop with the club? I mean, if you met me at a club, it obviously means that this is an integral part of my socialization.
Not necessarily.
So why you go to the club now? You know, because she's now thinking that, you know, I think that my biggest problem with a lot of women is that I just don't understand what they really want.
Interesting.
Because women are...
Women, can you please call these men and tell them what you really want, please? Because they're not clear.
Almost insatiable. I mean, there's just very little a man...
Women, I can tell you some of what women want. They want a man who's reliable. He is clicking his eyes for me. Women want reliable. I mean, I don't want to just say, you know, I'd like to give people the opportunity. Give us, a call, email us, tell us, what is it? I mean, Dr. Pierre just said that women don't know what they want. I think they know very well what they want, what they want and what they get. Two different things.
I sit in my office every day and I listen to women come to me and say to me that, oh, I have a couch potato at home and this guy just sits on me. That's absolutely, please, Dr. Pierre, I really wish you just go somewhere. And then there's someone comes to me that this guy is all over the place. He's hardly ever home. So, I think that, and it's the things that we have difficulty finding that balance, striking that balance.
Okay.
How do you find a man who stays home some days during the weekend, and there's a guy who goes out, and if he goes out, his socialization takes him out of the house all the time, because it becomes very demanding.
Okay, all right, fair enough. That's what you say. Let's go to some of the emails that we've had. Someone has said here that I'm being too easy on you guys. It's not news that women earn more than men in the Caribbean. Many families have one breadwinner, and that is the woman. Okay. Someone else says it comes from their loin region. Most St. Lucian men can't hear what you say due to the noise of the blood rushing from their brain to their you-know-where. Not complimentary. It's sad that, I mean, I've said this and neither of you have defended that, that...
What, the testosterone thing?
Yeah. That it seems as if the women here have a low opinion of some of the men in St. Lucia.
But I think... You want to give it
I think it's all to do, again, with class, your self-worth, and I think what you're attracted to. I think that a smart woman, knows instantly if she's talking to a guy who is really measuring what I call the sexual potentiality of some kind of relationship, or indeed he's alluding to a more solid relationship, or at least to get to know the person, at least to form an opinion, not based on any kind of blood rush or testosterone, but basically to really get to know this person in a special way. And I think, I'd like to think that women are smarter than the email you just received, that there are women who absolutely can identify the difference. I think there are a lot of women in St. Lucia who can identify the difference when a guy is really on his own testosterone heated nonsense, as opposed to...
All right, well, here's another question here for you then. Why don't men say what they really mean?
No, men don't say what you want to hear. That's what it is. What do you mean when men don't see? This generalizations, Delia, I tend to be very, cautious in how I approach them. Because there's no one rule that applies to everybody. I mean, as I said, for example, I might say to you, hey, I'm going out to X location, and you may pass an hour later and see me in Y location, right. And then immediately you think, so I thought you said you were going to X, Y, and Z. I think it's understanding the difference in the sexes. Like I've said this before, don't want to spend too much time on it, but I think we need to understand that we are wired differently.
Okay, all right.
We are wired differently. Okay,
fine. Well, we're going to our last break here. So if you have any other questions or comments, this is the time to send them through. This is the Dolor Factor live on DBS. We'll be right back.